But back to this dollar peso. I gotta mute myself. One sec, guys. Let me get situated on this. All right, I can see both. Yeah, so Santiago, I think if we get one more push on euro pound, guys, you can kind of see I've got some of this long is from the hedge against the euro overnight as we're going back up. I actually had a bigger morning than it's showing because I took off some euro Swissy that I had on. It was actually I was talking to Dave about it. It was kind of a position that I kind of let fall through the cracks. And sometimes I'll tell you, trading guys, sometimes there's different things that you kind of struggle with. One of mine is trying to be too confident sometimes and getting too aggressive too early. But the other is sometimes staying organized. So if you've got 10 core positions on right now, so it's easy to kind of, especially when there are smaller positions, because when you first put a position on and it's small, it's kind of like who cares? I want it to come lower. I want it to come against me. It's small, so you can get your bigger size on. But I actually took some euro Swissy off that was way out of the money. It was like almost $3,000 there. So I actually realized about 4,000 this morning and overnight already. But on this euro versus the pound, this next push lower, we're going to start covering some of these shorts that we've had out for some, I guess, since last week, actually. Pretty good resistance. We still like that 9 area. I saw the technicians on the, just across the different social spaces that to them it looks like it's breaking out, but we've talked about 0.9 is pretty good level. The only way I think you were going to get euro versus a pound through 0.9 is you got to have the euro probably even higher, much higher than it was today, like maybe 117, or you would have to have cable really break down. And we had a pretty good call that cable was pretty oversold. So I still think euro pound's pretty much largely range bound. But Santiago, on this dollar peso, like if you bought well down here, probably should come out of some right now. I might come out of this piece. I'm still waiting for some deeper levels, like I said, to pick up the size. But it's had a pretty good ebb and flow. It was a buy down here last night, this morning. Try to play this one a little bit wider, so smaller size over a wider range of the chart. I mean, I've got a buy here, and I'm literally planning to buy all the way, back down to these lows. So that's a lot of pips. But I like it down here. We'll see dollar peso and dollar lira kind of like to take off together sometimes. Four hour. Yeah. It definitely does. I mean, here's our pennant, right here. Like that, or if you want to draw it like that. So yeah, I think what's good here is we got the daily cycle low, right? So I do think the next leg is this way, and I've been thinking the same thing on dollar lira. I was actually was really surprised that it didn't come off with the move in the euro we had. And the yen strengthened like crazy. But let's just do a top down because it's Tuesday. We got to keep an eye on our 15-minute cycle now on the euro for when we want to, right? It's when we want to start to fade that and feather back into some bigger size. Okay. Really why we bought dollar yen last night was just, it was really a feel. So, you know, some people in trading, they don't really, there's that school of thought that you're not supposed to have emotions in your trading. And for the most part, that's true. But I like to say you'd rather be aware of your emotions than, you know, just completely numb. One, that's not really realistic as a human. But everybody has different personalities. You kind of need to trade. You kind of have to fit your trading style to your personality a little bit. And then obviously you want to let the model drive as much as possible. But there are instincts that you pick up from trading over many years, or as you know, as you gain more experience. So you don't want to ignore that stuff, and you do get a certain feeling at times. So you know, we just don't want to be, you don't want to be too greedy or fearful, but there's times where you can get a feel for that. Just last night, it felt like that was getting towards a low. I texted Dave. I was like, they're gonna rip it back down here. It was just getting so strong. It was just like a one way move last night. I wasn't even really looking at 200. It's just but this is actually still a bearish chart. I mean, we've been pretty constructive on the dollar. But I do think it says a lot about the overall market. If the yen is going to be so strong, that a lot of times that's a sign, right, that there's a bigger risk off move going on. So yen tends to be the safe haven, Swissy. The dollar, obviously, treasuries, sometimes gold. So it'll be interesting to see. I think you guys remember a couple of times we've had these pretty momentous or pretty quick sell off in stocks. They really bought up the yen the last couple times. So with stocks being kind of high within the range, I wouldn't be surprised that if we get another kind of sell off, 1 or 2 day sell off, if the yen strengthens again, even versus the dollar. So this intermediate term is still bearish, right? 4 hour cycle still coming up. We actually might want to go day trade contrarian short. 30-minute cycle's kind of mixed. 15 minutes there. I'm gonna put on some day trade short pieces here. I'll sell a little bit more into pie here, and then let's see if that starts to roll over. Okay, Dave. See you, man. Stocks are definitely high within the range again. It's really tough to buy them up here. I want to kind of see where this UVXY is on the open. I nibbled a little bit yesterday. Let's see where the VIX is. 30 minutes, 40 minutes. be shorting gold here too, actually. If we get a little bit of a bounce on gold here, guys, I'm gonna day trade short it too. I think we got a good shot that was the high on the euro intermediate term. Okay. All right. So now we'll do top down. I guess we start with the dollar. Still very much long-term bullish. Hey, what's up, Stan? How are you, buddy? So we talked about, I think last week this is either an 8 or a 9 count, depending on, it's an 8.6 sine wave, right? 8.6 frequency cycle that we're kind of tracking here. So you can round up to 9. There's a little bit of a BCI on the monthly level, but everything still points to a rally back towards 100. We do have a monthly cycle that's kind of high. Weekly's kind of high also. Maybe the weekly crosses still in an uptrend on the daily level. This is a perfect spot where we could see a higher low right at or near the 30. Wouldn't be surprised by that at all. Daily cycles coming down. I'm going to try to go pretty quick here. The euro monthly cycle's low there. I was looking at that this morning saying, hey, maybe, what would get the dollar to really kind of rally or to sell off from here? It would be maybe that this monthly and weekly cycle kind of needs to cycle the other way. But this trend is just so bearish. I think we want to go with the daily. We talked about the underside of 115. That was support. Should be resistance. Market kind of likes to go where there's the most pain. Probably ran a lot of stops. We kind of need to see how we close today. Yesterday's closing level was well, today's close is that candle. It's pretty low. That's not really helpful. So we had a bottoming tail here, guys, when they're oversold. Now we'll see if we get a topping tail. And then tomorrow's candle, we could have a swing line sell setup, right? If we take out the low of today's bar. I could see that. 4 hour, to get above the bands a little bit, so kind of stretched everybody. We're watching the 8 here. The intermediate term still kind of bullish. Hourly is bullish. 30 minutes still haven't broken the bands. We got our 15-minute cycles kind of low. So like I just said, we kind of need that to come back up before we sell bigger size. It was good that we covered some into the new lower lows right in front of pi. We could slowly start to fade this here as this 5-minute cycle comes up. If you want to sell a piece here, that makes sense, but we got to leave more size for closer to 115.20. Christine, you're short euro, right? Did you guys get covered up down there on some? What did she take off? Santiago, you covered there, right? What were your guys' low covers? All right, good. 114.93. Beautiful. All right. That's really good. So if you cover that well, you just put a piece out now on the 1 minute. And then we'll just kind of wait on our 15-minute to come up a little bit more. Okay, Christy's here. That's right. That's a great average too, 93. I mean, I covered some back. I think when I was heavier this morning, I think my average was maybe 114.70s. You guys both have really good average there. That's good. Yeah. All right, so we got our plan on the euro. If we look at cable, you're welcome. So we talked about kind of 127 was, I mean, this chart has been so bearish, but it's just been a long run. So we talked about, we didn't really like this regression channel. I was just trying to get a feel for, all right, the top of the range was up there around 143. If you pull it from the lows from 2016, 2 standard deviations is kind of right where the market held. And then we were oversold when you look at it on the daily level, but the weekly's low, monthly cycle's low, very similar to the dollar and the euro. 4 hour. Let me go back to the day. And the daily's coming up. Dave and I were talking about that this morning, is that there's a lot of these charts where the 4 hour, we're getting some pretty good 4 hour location. And then we have the daily cycle too, that's kind of coming right behind the 4 hour. So from a core perspective, I happen to be in a long just because of the way it kind of played out on some of my day trades, but I'm wanting to set a core short as we get closer to the 30 day. Probably let this daily cycle play out maybe a little bit higher. I don't know if we're going to get that high. I mean, the bands are right here in the 4 hour, so kind of depends on the euro too. But it's not a bad place to be fading this, guys, short here from a core perspective. This was pretty bullish here. This, once we got above pi, we got in the northern hemisphere. That was a pretty good day trade run. We're to watch these higher lows now. And I am long dragon from a core perspective. So I'm kind of inclined to maybe start selling cable against it. Euro versus the pound, monthly cycles coming up. Kind of just a gradual climb, nothing too momentous, still largely a range trade if you ask me. The bands are positive, but we just like this resistance for a while. Unless our view changes on the euro, it's going to be tough for me to want to be a buyer of euro pound up here. Getting a topping tail now on the daily. Again, we have a daily cycle that's trying to roll over. $30-minute cycle's low. 15-minute cycle's probably low too. Yeah. Just held pie. Just held pie there. Might get a little bit of a bounce. I'm going to sell some more euro here versus the dollar. Santiago, you got any stocks on? I'm still in my Tesla short. I'd like another bounce to put some more puts on. I think we're going to test pie here on the weekly level. Especially if growth starts to slow like we're kind of thinking in the back half of the year on the margin. It was pretty oversold the other day. I'd love for it to get back up to like 330. There's kind of a gap right there, 335. Pie's up there, the bands are up there. Even 3.25. Put some more puts on. No options. Okay. I know this can't trade everything. So Dragon, kind of similar to Cable. It's actually a little bit more. There's a little bit more going on here to have a bullish view, contrarian bullish view than Cable. But I mean, when you look at the monthly and the weekly, this is a trend that, looks like it wants to go back to the 2016 lows, maybe over the next 6, 12, 18 months. But we were definitely oversold down here at the bottom of the regression channel. So the weekly cycle is low. And now we're finally getting above the 8. So I'm actually in a core long. And I've been kind of wanting to work this position at least back towards 143 and then maybe kind of go short. But I don't know. That's just the problem with this is, one, Cable is still so bearish, and the yen has been so strong too. So it's tough to have a kind of a growth slowing view at the top of the range in stocks and then expect that Dragon's going to take off, because any sell-off in S&Ps up here, the yen's probably going to strengthen. So it's definitely turned the corner on the intermediate term. I can see that just by getting above the 8. You guys that are newer, when you guys are getting through the videos, right, that 8, the direction of the 8 is going to show you your intermediate term, right? Just kind of a simple way to peel back the different layers. Probably going to get a lower high here, guys, on the euro. I'm gonna short some more right now. This 5-minute cycle. And so getting above the 8 without even going to the 4 hour, the hourly, you're going to be able to see that we're finally making a higher high. So I'll show you guys what I mean. So our TMS, right, was like this. And then we were just basing here. I think we just have some numbers. What data do we have right now? 9 o'clock. I don't know why that went off. Oh, okay. New Zealand retail sales. Okay. All right. So yeah, guys. So this 4 hour is finally making a higher high there. I mean, you got some room to get back to the bands, but the near term's turned up. So, we're in the northern hemisphere here on the 30-minute. So that's been day trade bullish. It's probably got more to go. We already hit dollar yen. Euro versus the yen has been I mean, I'd rather be long cable than euros. It's still very much bearish. That's not a bad little way to play hedge your yen yen shorts is to play euro yen short. Weekly cycle's low. Are any of you guys playing any euro yen? Just off our wall concept, we probably have some room to go back halfway. And then that sets up really nice on the core side, core short. I haven't been trading that much. Man, that euro just like lost all its energy. It was on fire all night and all morning. Euro Swissies in a downtrend. No surprise there. Same thing. Weekly cycles are low, but the daily's coming up. And the 4 hours kind of in the same spot as like cable. Just got to the bands. I'd rather be short there. I think I sold some this morning. Didn't I sell some this morning? Yeah, I'm a small core short, Euro Swissy. Let's keep selling rallies on that. Oh, what else? What's up, Oyen? Not sure how I say your name there. I've been trading since I was in high school. So that was a while ago. I guess. I think I traded my first stock in actually middle school. It's pretty cool. It was like one of the favorite classes. I was never really big on school. Kind of kind of thought the whole system should be different. But one of the classes I liked was this this guy, I forget his name, but he taught us it was a stock class. And went through the paper. They were still listing things in 30 seconds, in eights or 38s, I think. And we were following Berkshire, and I think we went through and like highlighted 5 stocks, and we tracked them for like a semester or whatever. I think I was in 7th grade. I think Berkshire was like 16,000 then. Something stupid. We just had another number at 9. So that must have been 1 96. But I mean I don't consider a lot of that. Like in high school, I wasn't really paying attention that much. But when I started trading professionally 2006, I started in the business at Schwab, and but I was trading for many years before that. I was just trading a lot of options in college and just trading investor business daily stocks when the housing boom was going crazy. All the home builders were like the hottest stocks. There was a lot of growth in that. I remember Taser was another one. There was a lot of up and down in those years. Make a lot of money, and then I'd chase stuff high, like stupid high, make all the same mistakes. I remember NetEase and some of those Chinese internet stocks were kind of just coming on the scene. I was trading a lot of options on those. Some good, some not so good. And then I started trading fixed income in 2008. So Schwab, it was equity and options. And in 2008, I basically got introduced to treasury business right in the middle of the meltdown, which was a freaking roller coaster. It was stressful. Nice sales guys on the euro, getting the swing line sell set up. You can hit it again here if you want. I'm going to hit it one more time on the euro versus the dollar. BTC, it's kind of been sluggish and slow. I think once we get into September, kind of looking for maybe the market to pick up just from a cyclical standpoint. That'll be 8.6 months from the high. So that's the 8.6 frequency is actually pretty major in life and in markets. But I've just been it's been so slow down here. I kind of watching these highs on BTC. Right here. Yeah, maybe we can get some legs if we can get above 6,600, 6,700. But other than that, we're still in this intermediate term weakness. So I literally did some like near term shorts on the October contracts I covered. I had another piece I covered here the other day on this little flush. Let me zoom in. So I don't have all my signals on this chart. Sometimes I do it on mobile for our team, but I covered one more piece here, and then I just put that back out this morning. So I'm long some futures the front month, September, and then I'm short the October. Just kind of a way of having different duration trades on the same asset. So that's kind of one of the tricks you can do on futures, and can't obviously. It's kind of it's first in, first out. So if I just trade, I mean, you're still adding and reducing here. It's kind of one and the same. but there is some advantage to having both sides on, because you can only react. You have more opportunity or more optionality if you have both sides of the market on sometimes. I know it's kind of hard to explain, but I can't just trade the Septembers. If I would have bought more here, I'd have been increasing my long instead of covering a short. It's a little bit different. Yeah, less margin too. Yep. Let's see if we can get one more push here on the euro back into pi. I think it's going to matter, guys, on some of these hourly and 4-hour closes for the, the different algos. They're going to be trading which side we settle on. Shorting probably underneath 115. You probably already, all the weaker hands probably already stopped through 115. I saw kind of a lot of technicians. I mean, there's a lot of people putting up good charts and stuff on TradingView or on the different social sites, but there's sometimes the technicians are way too specific in their levels. Like I saw it on the Aussie and on the euro the other day. Guys were trying to short, these technicians were trying to short 114 with a stop above 115. Well, first of all, 115 is actually the top of the range if you do it based on standard deviation. But you just set yourself to get stopped out if you're trying to trade that level specific. So I think there's probably a lot of those people that got stopped here last night and this morning above 115. If we can close below it today, that would be pretty bearish. But I don't want to jinx it. No shot. I was going to say on the Aussie is I saw people wanting to sell 73 with a tight stop, but I mean, you guys know that doesn't really play into the wall concept. I'd rather start my short maybe around 73, but still you got to be willing to play this on a larger retracement than 50%. And so I think that's where the technicians really struggle, is there was guys that wanted to sell the 73 level and they're already stopped out right into the zone where we're probably going to make a lower high. So you guys know I'd rather you play the wall and then plan your trade so that you can play at a wider range of the chart. I mean, especially all the way back here to the 200 and pi. And this trend, you're not going to be really wrong on that unless you get all the way back above here. So that is kind of a lot of room on the chart, but you guys get the point. The euro kind of did the same thing. You went through the resistance and that gets everybody stopped out, and then the market goes right back the other way. The blue line's under the price. You mean right here? Or down here? FIFO, what? Yeah, Brassy, you're welcome. This is the 200 period moving average. This is what we call our pi line. It's not that magical. I mean, it's actually a really powerful concept, but it's just a 314 period moving average. It's not rocket science. But yeah, that's what that line is. And then it's pi because it's 3.14 times 100. So I played around with that and it works really well. So it's kind of a cyclical concept. You failed at it right here. It happens a lot. All right, guys. So that's kind of one of the things here is when you add on the swing line and we didn't get the follow through, it's largely has a lot to do with this 15-minute cycle. So if you got heavy there on your swing line on that, if you got heavy on that candle, it's okay to take that risk off if we trade above that high. But if you can give it some room, I mean, you still got the bands here. We still have the 15-minute cycle coming up. You're going to have all this support that broke above the market. Anyway, if you ever do get heavy on a setup, it's okay to keep that wrist tight. You know, when you guys want to get really take a swing at something, I only want you risking one candle on the bigger pieces. That keeps you, you know, when you want to get aggressive, only want to get aggressive for a small area versus you get aggressive there and then you just let it come all the way back up. You know, that's not the way to work it. That'll get you in trouble. I've done that lots of times. Oh, what else? What other questions you guys have? Waterboy, how are things going? Are you getting through the course? Have you guys been journaling? Dollar lira is quiet too. The whole market's just seems like it's resting right now. Stocks open in about 15. I don't think we have any more numbers, right? Not really. Some Aussie numbers, 9:30. Oh, you got FOMC minutes tomorrow. And then we got a bunch of PMIs on the Euro zone Thursday morning. That's going to matter. And you got the ECB policy minutes. Oh, yeah, Jackson Hole this week. Man, it seems like they were just there. Euro pound back on the low. I'm just looking at the dollar yen. Pretty good sales we just had. Cable's firming up. Santiago, I'm sure maybe they're trying. Maybe their central bank is trying. But free market always wins out. So I think it actually trades pretty crappy considering the dollar was really selling off, and dollar lira you would expect would have came off, and it didn't budge. So I think if the euro rolls over here, then the risk is dollar starts to rally on versus the lira. Dollar's been one of the strongest trends on the planet. So if those guys want to start selling dollars and buying the lira, good luck. That's like when the Swiss was buying the euro, trying to peg it to the euro versus the dollar. Buying euro Swissy hand over fist, getting run over. Oh yeah, and it is. Well, you can talk to us about maybe breaking it up into payments for you. If you let us know your situation. I've done that for a couple guys before. Oh, you do? Wow. How is it there? They like to show videos of people burning dollar bills over here. Looks pretty staged. Yeah, you can ask us. Do you know how to? Are you in our chat room? You can ask my partner Ritas. If you come into the chat, go. Here, I'll screen share for you. If you go to Block Edge Capital, I don't know why that shows up like that. There we go. Blockedgecapital.com. Under this education tab, you've probably been here. It sounds like you have, but if you come into the chat room here, it's free to come in. We can talk about that. And that'll get you over to this chat here. So you can find me in here. My voice is like raspy today. Guys, I'm gonna grab a water. I'm still waiting on this euro versus dollar to come up with this 15-minute cycle. I think we'll get a lower high with it. It's the energy's really come out of the market here. I guess we're just waiting on stocks to open. I gotta figure out what I want to do on a cable. Either we're gonna fail here or might kind of put in a BCI on the 4-hour and take another leg up. You can kind of treat this as a small BCI right there. Maybe marks the middle of the move. Definitely bullish day trade, near term. So we should have bought into this dip here, guys, this morning. Nah. Dragons, new highs. Santiago, did you get involved in bonds at all? You said you've been doing Forex. Oh, really? Oh, okay. I've got the 10-year now on my JFD stuff, my CFD contract, so I'm gonna try to trade some more of it. Bonds trade really well. I mean, you got stocks back on the highs and bonds haven't budged. I mean, they're firm. Oh, everybody in the world is short. I think we're really ripe for a squeeze. Just all you need is a little bit of weakness in equities, and 10 years probably can rally a couple points. I'm still quarter long. Yeah, so for you guys that are in YouTube land, this is an inside look at what we do. We trade together on it's our live trading team. Kind of my trade for life team. Anybody that signs up for the course and pays for the live training sessions, we do a lot of coaching and obviously live trading together. So that's where you kind of get to work on your size and what it looks like like we were talking about a swing line setup, how you can get it more aggressive on it, where you got to put your stop, where you have to put your risk. Lots of different stuff. Hey, water boy. No, I don't think so. I mean, Dave has really helped me kind of get this whole copycat service going, and I'm still learning, and it's been pretty smooth for the most part, other than like the FIFO struggles. But I think there's some guys that have. I was talking to one trader this morning that got way too aggressive was doing like a 1-to-1 multiplier, and their account is much smaller than mine, so it can't sit through the pullbacks. And when I'm building into these positions, it's like I told them to start small on like a 0.25 multiplier. And the other thing too is like you gotta let your gains build up in your account before, even if you're not tied to my account, before you start taking more, bigger swings. I mean, I've got some pretty good gains from trading this account for a while. That this person that just comes in and gets put in the same positions, and then they don't have any profit cushion to sit through a pullback or a drawdown. But other than that, it's been pretty smooth. The Euro's still pushing up here, guys, with the 15-minute. I'm gonna sell another small piece, just slowly fading versus the dollar. I think I lost my train of thought. Oh, so Waterboy, I think it only connects through the MT4 terminal. It's kind of how it's the only way I've seen guys doing it. Oh yeah, there's that one too. I've never used that platform. You'd think though, you would think that that'd be something that would come to retail. These other shops would, the technology exists. And that's kind of something that I want to eventually build into Rhythm. Rhythm, to bring your own wallet, it's going to be a little bit kind of that in a way. It's just you'll have discretion on what you want to do, obviously, too. But on the crypto side, I think that's something we could play out. I mean, you can trade these CFDs on MT4 and on my broker you can. But they don't, spreads are just, it takes up a little bit more margin. The spreads are crazy. We're just not getting any movement for me to care to want to trade these around right now. Day trade. That's gotten better. 8-point spread on BTC. It's gotten better. Kind of tempted to buy some Litecoin though. I don't know. I don't really want to tie up too much capital into something that's not moving that I could put towards FX. So I haven't really played with that on this account. A short. Hey, Alex. Day trade short. Did it have a big pop, you mean? And that's why you want to short it near term versus the others? You can look at it in a second. Cable's kind of taken off here. All right. Buy a, I gotta get some water. I'm gonna buy a pullback on the cable on the next near term pullback. I don't really want to chase it up here. Guys, I'm gonna step off for 1 second. I'll be right back. Yeah, cable's strong. All right, I'm back. Steve. Yeah, yeah. I mean, no, the equity matters too, for sure. I mean, let me talk about that a little bit. So, there's a big difference between someone that's you got to think about. You have to put it in perspective a little bit about drawdown and account balance and what what you're able to generate daily income wise versus I think what most people think is standard directional trading is one entry in, couple targets. They're not position traders. They're not trading a core position. So a real professional, especially on the sell side. So my background is, I traded big institutional size, ran a rates desk, but we were kind of a boutique shop where we took proprietary positions, but we also were a broker dealer. So we were technically the sell side. And same thing as the big bank. So the primary dealers. So all these guys have big positions. So let's just say, for example, I'm getting distracted here. 1 second. So I might draw over here to kind of explain this. It's actually a good question. So, like for example, the 5-year trader at Deutsche Bank, right? He might have a $2 billion position. All right. So he's long a lot of different bonds, or he's long a bunch of 5-year treasury paper for the most part, US government paper. They call it govies. And so he has his position. Now he's going to have a core position that he might have a view that prices are going to rise, rates are going to go fall, blah, blah, blah. So directionally, he has a view that he wants to make gains as that core position rises. Okay. But also, he's making money every day because he's got clients like central banks or sovereign wealth funds, or big, PIMCO might come in and buy treasuries from Deutsche Bank, but he's going to have his customers too that he's going to make markets on and make money. So he might have an inventory of 5-year paper, 5-year bonds, and then one of his customer wants to buy 200 million bonds from him. So he's going to make money on that. He might make what's called a plus, which is a half a 32nd, which is $156 per million. So he makes $156 per million on 200 million. You guys do the math. What is that? 30 grand. It's close to that, right? I've been up all night, so double check me. 156 times 200. Yeah, 30 grand. So those guys are making money by trading like that. And it's the same thing in my shop where I would work orders. I didn't take a big inventory. I would take positions directionally, maybe 10 million tens, but these guys have much bigger inventories. Now we had corporate traders that were at our shop too, and now they're buying in, Freeport McMoran, Freeport bonds, or pick your oil company. So they're trading around these corporate bonds or high yield bonds, and same thing. They have an inventory, so they're going to try to buy a bond that's cheap, sell it to their customer, or they just hit the screens and they're trying to trade it directionally. Well, as you work into those core positions, those are sometimes, if you have a core position that's kind of out there for a while, it's called an aged position, and you slowly take that off. So when we first start this account, I might have had one core position. Now I think I'm pushing 12 core positions. And so I'm generating income every day from trading around a core position, day trading it. And then those gains slowly build up your equity curve. And then that allows me to take bigger positions overnight. But in that process, you can sit through what's a drawdown or a pullback. To me, really a drawdown, guys, is more like, hey, you start with a $50,000 account and you put your position on. The big difference between somebody that's adding to an account balance and growing it and taking more positions than the person that just buys, takes a view, and sits and holds and watch the account draw down because of the market's moving against them. And then they hope, hope isn't a risk management strategy. And then they hope it comes back. Like, you start your account at 50 and it goes down to 25. That's a true 50% drawdown. If you build this account up to, like, I'm almost at 180 and I started at 50. If we start at 50 and you build it up to 180, and as you're putting on more positions, some of those, just like a stock, is going to have a pullback, right? You got to be able to sit through the pullback. If I take this from 50 to 200, and then I have some open positions that maybe are unrealized, say 100,000, that's still 100% up from where I started. To me, that's not a drawdown when you go from 200 and you pull back and you're still up 100% from when you started. So you wouldn't want to just close the account out when your equity is low, but I'm building up the account balance so I can take more trades on and more risk. And the key is to kind of, you know, we were started out with $100 days, day trading, $500 days. Okay. And now as you build the account up, start having $5,000 days. Well, it doesn't take much to have 5 good trading days and you put 25,000 realized into the account. I don't have a problem to having a position that's out of the money by 25,000. It's only 5 days of trading at that stage. So you try to keep a balance between what you're able to pull out of the market every day and what your positions are that might be out of the money. I don't know if that makes sense. But you got to kind of, if you just start on the copycat trading, like you shouldn't go 1-to-1 with me because you don't have that cushion, that profit cushion. So if I have a week where I'm building into a position and that equity gets drawn down, you don't have very much cushion. So you got to kind of, can't just jump in 1-for-1 on my trades, especially if you have a smaller account. I tried to explain it in the videos we did to start at 0.25 lot by lot. And then as you get comfortable and you start to have some gains, you can increase it. Dollar lira's coming off on the 15-minute here. So just one more point on that. Like today I had a 1 lot on one of my core trades that was like $3,000. So I took a $3,000 loss on that and I'm still up on the day 1,000. So I day traded $4,000 back. So taking a piece off like that, an aged position, is kind of how you work both sides of that. We really need a dollar lira rally. Will help out. That's one of my biggest out of the money positions right now. I'm gonna try to add to it though if we pull back dollar lira. Looks like we got the lower high on the euro. Let's see if our 15-minute. Santiago, what are you asking? On cable? Well, I was core short. Now I'm pretty much flat. I just bought some back because we made a new high. I'm trying to decide on. I was trying to decide on that one, and I'm long dragon, so I've been kind of going back and forth between being day trade long and then being short to kind of hedge it. But trying to get above the bands here, we might have some more room to run. I'll kind of hope that dragon follows suit, and then I'm probably going to hang out flat for now on cable. Pretty aggressive short euros also, so I don't want to get too dollar long. 15-minute cycle still hasn't crossed. Getting a bearish engulfing here, guys, on the 5-minute. Could sell some more there too if you want. I'm going to wait on this 15-minute pullback on cable and probably play day trade long. What's the minimum viable amount? Oof. I mean, I think if 10 to 30,000 would be the goal. 5,000 to me, I don't know. It's pretty. It's tough to try to trade 100 to 1 leverage with less than 5,000. I guess 5 was probably the minimum. It just takes a little bit longer because we try to do one sometimes, you know, my guys have a goal like to do 1% a day. We try to, the consistency is what is the key. You can always add more zeros. So, you know, 1% on 5,000, you know, it's, you have $50 days. It doesn't seem like much, but it'll compound. It seems slower in the beginning. Alex, sorry I didn't get to Litecoin. Did I miss it? I've just been kind of waiting for September. I haven't done much in crypto. Are you using BitMEX? I know. It's like back to June. That's it's been so slow. How boring it was in June, July. I think the volumes are pretty much there too. Pretty weak. Finex? Who's that? Bitfinex? Oh, you can short with them? Are you using a VPN? The shorts are at an all-time high. Oh, you know what? Where is that? Did I read that? I think I read that. I think the net positioning in Bitcoin is net short now. Or maybe it was another market. Oh, I can't remember. Yeah. Yeah, commitment of traders. Does that sound right, guys? Did you get anybody else looked at that? I'm trying to think if that was another market. It wouldn't have been treasuries. It wouldn't have been. Oh, it might have been gold. I might have been looking at gold. I think the net positioning in gold is finally net short right into the lows, of course. I think that's what it was. I'm remembering. How do they measure this? Do you know, Alex? It's a pretty clean chart. Is that like a is that an outright number of contracts? But either way, that's definitely at the top of the range for sure. Well, I remember this. We had that squeeze. What was that last squeeze that kind of got people really offsides? What's Tesla doing? It's getting a little bit of a rally. Oh man, I'd really like to see it move towards 3.25. The total. So they're measuring the total, huh? On Bitfinex. That's pretty helpful. So we had a squeeze on this chart. I guess I can't really see that. Is this a weekly? Is that the beginning of April or the middle of April? Beginning of April, and then we had another squeeze in the middle of June. It looks like this euro, guys, doesn't want to come off till maybe the 30-minute cycle rolls over. That's still coming up. 15-minute cycle hasn't crossed. Let's see. That last squeeze we had was this was a pretty good one here, July. But I think this one here in April was worse. Yeah, April. That's when they were high again, right? Remember we had this big squeeze right here. Just a couple guys in the room got all off sides because they were just so their face pressed against the tree, trying to short down here. Yeah, that was this real money candle, right? For sure. Right there, boom. Yep, I could see that happening again. So many traders are so impatient in crypto that wouldn't take much. I think you get above 6,700, you're gonna get a squeeze. So I'm kind of waiting for that to add back. I'm either gonna add again below 6,000, or I'm gonna add on like some sort of bullish setup, bullish engulfing, or real money candle. The market to show me something here. Yeah, Adam. I know that it's kind of hard to think if you got all the data here on this stuff. I mean, just looking at one exchange is tough, but I mean that Alex chart there I think is pretty helpful because you can still measure it even if it's on one exchange and it doesn't capture all of it. It's still kind of, if it's a consistent measurement and they're not, I think it's just another factor that's kind of interesting to look at. $20,000 BTC on Bitfinex. I don't know about short and Litecoin down here. I mean, day trade, I don't know. Maybe at the 200 made sense. But unless you're levered up, I mean, what are you going to really make? It's $1. 10x? Oh, that works. All right. Let's look at some of these other coins, and then I got a hot probably here, guys, at 10. I'm a little surprised that Binance is as low as it is. I mean, 12 was a pretty good support that broke. I guess you got next support. There's this bottoming tail here, 8.5. Second support, 7. Then down at 5.5. Still be a long-term buyer there. All these altcoins are low. They're really low. They're cheap on a relative value basis. They're really, down a lot. They're just continue to make lower lows. So cheap can get cheaper. Doesn't mean you can't start to go contrarian. I mean, last time I bought anything meaningful on EOS was back right at these same levels. Still making lower highs there. Lower highs on gas. Neo, same thing, I'm sure. I wouldn't be surprised if September is an altcoin rally. We're just down so hard. We'll start to look for the 4-hour to start making higher lows and higher highs. And then that'll get my attention. I mean, the bands are still negative. Like you'd need to get Neo above 21 to be a higher high on the intermediate term. Dragon's taking off here. Big move on cable. Wow, Dragon just exploded. Taking some profit there on my core. Still core long. I think this is mostly the yen. Stock's coming off. No. It's cable. Euro pounds coming off pretty hard with that. Yeah. Shorts are getting squeezed now on sterling for sure. Now I'm in a long though on euro versus a pound, so it's kind of a hedge against this euro up here, but kind of need to work out of that on a bounce. Dave, you back? Did you go get some tacos already? Taco Tuesday? If you trade London, you get to have, past lunchtime. Vinny, yeah. Core short euro. And I was coming in today short euro pound, but I'm getting heavier on my euro short, so I've kind of been buying the dip near term on euro versus pound. I'm actually in a little bit of a long now. So I'm going to trade both those off each other. So as euro pound comes back, if it starts to rally, I'll come out of that long, depending on what the euro is doing. We kind of trade the two bet off each other. So day trade, I mean, you can lean a little bit long here, euro versus pound, getting pretty oversold. It's kind of, obviously you're fading cable. It's just exploded. I mean, I'm big picture. I'm a better seller of euros versus the pound, but I mean, I traded around, so I'm going to be buying into pie here, and then I'm selling euros on pop. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little bit of a bounce here, as the cycle here is kind of high on the euro. Maybe we make another lower high relative to these highs. I mean, we had a lower low, so this lower low has a higher probability of being a lower high now because of this lower low. When you drop from a high to a lower low, the higher probability is that you have subsequent lower high. You don't get all the way back to the prior high. So that's kind of what I'm looking for right here. They are meeting, Dave. All right, that might be part of what's going on. Adam, yeah, I've been following that. The ETF seems like the market's kind of obsessing about that. I mean, I guess for good reason. That would be pretty big. That was Thursday, right? Thursday or Friday? I thought it was Thursday, 23rd. Yeah. I mean, I guess we'll see how the market reacts to that. That might be what we're sitting around waiting for on BTC. But any guys, pretty good session for my traders. You guys know what we're doing here on the euro. There's some risk above today's high. I do want to see how we close today. I'm gonna keep you guys updated on the chat. But I mean, if you get over your skis short euros here, I mean, this is a decent amount of room between here and pi. So probably have to take some risk off if we do trade much above 115.5 where we were this morning. But at the same time, I mean, I hate stopping out in front of the 200 and pi when you're in a downtrend. So this whole resistance, all of this area is in the same spot up here. I think we'll have a hard time getting that high, to be honest. There's a good chance we might have failed this morning. But anyway, there is some risk there. Maybe you have to take some off and try to put it back out here. Maybe you have to get long euros versus the pound. It's kind of another reason why to buy some down here. That if the euro, for whatever reason, does want to push back up, you probably will get a bounce here on euro versus the pound. I mean, it was strong for that entire move. So, and then we'll be buying a dip on cable now too. All right. So you can time that up with your 15-minute, 30-minute cycles. I'll keep you guys updated in the real-time alerts. If you guys are new, kind of, I wanted to do this just to have more of an insight into kind of what we do twice a week on our live trading team. So if any of you guys are interested in that or kind of new to what we do, if you go to blockedgecapital.com, this is our digital asset management firm we're building now. We have an educational business that we're doing some things on the Forex side and futures. That was under Jenkins Risk Management, but kind of transitioning into Block Edge here. And then also we've got some ICO project that's actually in private pre-sale right now. But we're building out our decentralized trading platform. That's called Rhythm. Anyway, the best way to get involved with us, guys, is here on education. It's free to come into the chat room. We do have a crypto room that's $99 a month, where that's a paid room, putting in real-time alerts on anything crypto. Buy and sell signals. This is our trading course. That's kind of on demand. It's my entire directional model and everything I've learned for 10 years trading professionally in cash treasuries, and all directional. So the model covers 3 main pillars, which is analysis, execution, and risk. Analysis is, hey, how do you really identify the true trend? It's not about moving average crosses. That stuff doesn't work. How you identify a trend is based on the market structure. We teach you that, and then teach you how to identify the cycles, which is about time. So technical analysis is good. That helps you with the price part, but timing and the fourth dimension actually matters more. That has to do with cyclical concepts. And then how do you work your size around the cycles? All the timing process, which is, you don't get that, and pretty much I've never seen anybody else really teach cyclical analysis. Some of the bigger guys know it well, like Paul Tudor Jones, and Livermore was pretty cyclical trader. He didn't think you could day trade though. He didn't think it was possible to be consistent day trader. Anyway, that's that. And then we get into psychology and risk and trading journals and psychology of trading. That's a big part of what you learn in there. And then this is our live room. So this is what we're doing today, twice a week with our trading team. So, and I probably don't have the right screen up. Do that a lot too. So it's Block Edge Capital. Sorry about that. I freaking always do that. Block Edge Capital. Here are the education. Here's the chat room I was talking about on the left. This is the $99 a month trading team. This is the course. This is where you get to the live room. This is a pretty good deal, guys. I mean, I've had traders in here that have been with me for going on almost 3 years. So that's a pretty tight group. I mean, for that price to to get the trade together with somebody that's consistently proven help you make money. There's probably, I mean, literally when we would trade together, we might have 2 losing day trading sessions a month is kind of on our average. So really high level consistency. I think it's a small price to pay to invest in yourself. Um, I mean, I spent a lot more money on that just to get my insurance license right out of school. And that was a joke. But doing annuities and stuff, I didn't like it. When I wanted to learn Forex, that was 12 grand I paid for. It doesn't even touch the amount of information I put in the course here. So that's a good price, guys. If you have more questions on that, I think, um, you can come in the chat room and message me. But yeah, watch Euro versus the pound down here. I'm probably going to sign off with you guys. It's been a long night. And then I'll keep you guys posted in the real-time alerts. My team, are you guys good? Okay, Kimberly. Thanks for hopping on. If you guys find it useful, I try to share some value. Sometimes we'll coach on here and do obviously save a lot of the coaching and stuff for my team, but there's so much to learn. So happy to share once in a while. Yeah, if you guys help, it helps the YouTube channel if you smash the like button. I don't think like 12 likes does anything, but anyway, whatever. All right, Santiago. Later, partner. Christine, Dave. Rio, you were quiet. Thursday, guys. Like Stan, Waterboy, why don't you guys let me know how you're doing? Maybe send me one of your couple of trades so we can. That's the best way for me to see what's going on with you. Good habits, the bad habits. Have I showed you guys the WARA for those of you that are new? I don't think I've gone over that with you, a couple of you. Right action versus wrong action. That's the stuff we got to work on. You guys, the consistency comes when you just get rid of the bad habits. There's usually 2 to 3 things that you're doing over and over again that are screwing up not allowing you to break out to that next level of consistency. Once you get rid of those habits, then I mean that's kind of the way trading is. You got to get rid of all the weeds first. But anyway, we'll work on some of that stuff Thursday. All right, Ed. See you, man. Okay, Santiago. I'm not gonna. If I fade cable, it's only gonna be because I'm long dragon. So I think we want to try to stay on the long side for a little bit here. I mean, Dragon's got this resistance right up here, 142.5. It's going to be tough, especially if it just goes vertical right into it. But yeah, I'll let you guys know. Watch. That's a big level we're coming up on Dragon for sure. You could play a contrarian short there. That might be a little easier sell just because the yen's been so strong. Dennis, ICX. I'll do one more. Switch over. Is this the right chart? Well, I don't know anything about this coin, but just the price action, it's tough to be bearish when you're right back to the ICO bar. I mean, there's a lot of, I don't know how much this traded on these wicks, but the open to close, you're basically trading right back at the price. So you don't have a lot of downside and you got a lot of potential upside, you know. It's probably just a matter of if and when Bitcoin turns a corner. This should probably rally also. If you're looking for, hey, when would I get more aggressive? I mean, when you're 80% of the time, 90% of the time, you don't want to be in the habit of buying lower lows. Most people don't even realize it, that they're buying lower lows. You hear terms like, oh, catch a falling knife, stuff that gets passed around like that, but nobody really identifies, hey, what is price really doing? But a lot of traders have a bad habit of constantly buying lower lows. And trust me, I've been there I've done it so many times. It's disgusting. So you got to do it enough times. And then usually you have to be aware that what it is first that you're even doing. And then you got to frame it so that you stop doing that. And one way we did that is I have something I call phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 that identifies the bottoming process. And you're pretty long in the tooth as far as the downtrend here. I mean, anytime a market makes 4, 5, 6 lower lows, you're already getting towards the end of the move. And this has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, arguably 8 lower lows. So you're due for a cycle back up, but you still have lower highs, right? So as soon as the market can give you higher highs and higher lows, that's kind of when you can look to be more aggressive. Start getting higher highs and higher lows. So you could nibble in here. I mean, you know where you're wrong, right? There's your floor. So pretty small amount of risk and you got a lot of reward potentially. I mean, I don't know enough about this coin. I guess it's possible it just bounces around worthless. But this just looks like every other altcoin chart. Lower lows and lower highs. We haven't turned the corner yet. Yep, you're welcome. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your trading day. I'll see the rest of you Thursday. Santiago later. Okay, Ed, thanks, man. All right, guys, have a good one.